On April 15th, Snap fired 1,000 people. The CEO sent a memo. He didn't blame the economy. He didn't blame slowing ad revenue. He blamed AI. And then something strange happened. Snap's stock jumped 11%. The market just rewarded a CEO for replacing humans with software. This is the first time a Fortune 500 CEO has said the quiet part out loud. And in the same week, three other things happened that prove this is only the beginning. Evan Spiegel's exact words. Quote, we are announcing changes that will impact approximately 1,000 team members at Snap, including 16% of our full-time employees. End quote. He called it a crucible moment. And then he wrote this. Quote, we believe that rapid advancements in artificial intelligence enable our teams to reduce repetitive work, increase velocity, and better support our community. End quote. Translate that from CEO English. He just said AI does the work now. We don't need the people. But here is the part nobody is talking about. Snap also closed 300 more open roles. So the total cut is closer to 1,300 jobs. Roughly 25% of every position they had planned for this year. Go. The savings, $500 million by the second half of this year, $500 million in salaries, erased in one memo, and the market loved it. Snap closed up 11% the day of the announcement. Investors didn't punish the firings. They cheered them. The market cap jumped by more than $1 billion in a single trading session because Snap announced it would need fewer humans. Spiegel pointed to specific examples in the memo. Snapchat Plus, the paid subscription product, their entire ad platform. Snap Lite, the low bandwidth version they shipped to emerging markets. He said small squads with AI tools were already shipping faster than full teams without them. Now compare this to the layoffs of 2024. Back then, every CEO blamed macro, inflation rate hikes, overhiring during COVID. The reasons were always external, always temporary. This memo is different. Spiegel is not blaming the economy. He is openly saying that one engineer with the right AI tools replaces three engineers without them. That is not a recession story. That is a permanent restructuring story. This is the new template. And every other CEO just got the green light to copy it. Now here is the obvious question. Why now? Why April 2026? Why not last year or last quarter? Because of what dropped 1 week later. April 24th. DeepSeek released V4. A Chinese lab gave away for free a model with 1.6 trillion parameters. That is bigger than GPT-4 was. It is open source. You can download it tonight from Hugging Face. To put 1.6 trillion in perspective, the original ChatGPT, the one that broke the internet in late 2022, was about 175 billion parameters. DeepSeek V4 is roughly 9 times that size, and they are giving it away. Here are the numbers. On MLU Pro, DeepSeek V4 scores 87.5. That matches GPT 5.4 exactly. On GPQA Diamond, the hardest reasoning benchmark in the industry, 90.1%. Just 3 points behind Claude Opus 4.7. On BrowseComp, the test of how well a model can use the web, it actually beats Claude. And the cost. DeepSeek V4 runs at 1/6 the price of Opus 4.7, GPT 5.5 1/6. This is not the first time DeepSeek has done this. In January 2025, they released V3 and wiped almost $600 billion off NVIDIA's market cap in a single day. The market called it the Sputnik moment for American AI. V4 is the bigger, smarter, cheaper sequel. And remember what happened 24 hours earlier. Google paid $40 billion to invest in Anthropic. $40 billion to lock in access to Claude. One day after that check cleared, China made a model that does most of the same things and handed it to the world for nothing. This is what makes Spiegel's math work. Because if a single Snap engineer can now run an open source model on their own GPU with frontier capability at 1/6 the cost, then yes, you can fire 1,000 people. The economics finally lined up. DeepSeek didn't just release a model, they detonated the price floor. They turned what cost millions into something that costs almost nothing. And every CEO in the world saw what Spiegel saw. While all this was happening, Elon Musk was writing a $60 billion check. On April 21st, SpaceX announced it had a deal to acquire Cursor. Cursor is a code editor, an AI-powered VS Code clone. The CEO is 25 years old, a former Google intern named Michael Truel, who started the company out of Y Combinator 3 years ago. The deal has two outcomes. SpaceX can buy Cursor outright for $60 billion by the end of this year. Or, if SpaceX walks away, they have to pay Cursor a $10 billion partnership fee. $10 billion. As a breakup fee. To not buy a code editor. Cursor was already raising $2 billion at a $50 billion valuation. SpaceX preempted the round with a $60 billion offer that nobody in venture capital could match. To understand how absurd this number is, look at Cursor's history. 2 years ago, the company was valued at under $2 billion. Last year, around $9 billion. This year, $50 billion. And now $60 billion. The valuation has gone up 30 times in 24 months. Why would a rocket company pay rocket money for an IDE? Because Elon is going public. SpaceX is targeting an IPO this June at $1.75 trillion to $2 trillion. That is the largest IPO in history by an order of magnitude. And he wants AI coding capacity locked in before the bell rings. Cursor will get plugged into Colossus XAI's supercomputer. Together, they will build what Elon is calling coding and knowledge work AI. But this deal is a hint at something bigger. The most expensive resource on Earth right now is not compute. It is not models. It is the agents and the tools that turn models into productivity. And Elon just paid $60 billion for one piece of that. Which means the next layoffs are not coming for customer service or marketing. They are coming for the people who write code. Because here is what Elon is launching next. On April 16th, Musk teased that XAI would launch Grok Build the following week. A CLI coding agent, a direct competitor to Claude Code to Cursor to GitHub Copilot. The architecture is wild. Grok Build runs 8 parallel agents in a single session. 8, all running at once on your machine. Local first, meaning the code executes on your hardware, nothing leaves. Compare that to today. Claude Code runs one agent, sequential steps. Cursor has limited orchestration. Copilot is autocomplete. Grok Build is built parallel from the foundation. 8 agents working at once on the same problem. That is one developer doing the work of an 8-person team. One mid-level engineer with Grok Build is suddenly more productive than an entire startup squad. Think about what that means. Snap fired 1,000 people because AI could do the work. DeepSeek made the AI cheap enough that anyone can run it. SpaceX bought the editor that ships to 200,000 developers. XAI is launching the parallel agent that lets one of those developers manage a swarm. Each layer compounds the next. And the number XAI is targeting is much bigger than 1,000. There are roughly 40 million developers in the world. The entire premise of Grok Build, of Cursor, of Claude Code is that you need fewer of them. A lot fewer. This is also why Elon is racing. XAI is now valued at over $200 billion. Anthropic at $350 billion. OpenAI is approaching $1 trillion. Whoever ships the parallel agent first owns the workflow that replaces the next 10 million jobs. Snap was the warning shot. They were just the first Fortune 500 CEO who was willing to say it on a Wednesday morning. Every other CEO is watching the stock price go up 11% and running the math. The chain is now complete. Open source models from China at 1/6 the cost. $60 billion flowing to AI coding tools. 8 parallel agents launching next week. And one CEO showing every other CEO that the market will pay you to do this. The next 1,000 layoffs will not make headlines. They will be normal. The 1,000 after that will not even feel like news. And the only people who survive this are the ones who learn to use the swarm before the swarm replaces them. If this video helped you connect the dots, hit subscribe. I am tracking this story across every video this week, and I will tell you the moment the next CEO says it out loud.